Yeah.
He just wasn't the most emotional support.
And we're going to be clear to people listening. We're not asking for like Jesus in the flesh as a father, like Robin Hood style dads.
No.
We're talking about normal like conversations as a young man. Hey, do you understand what puberty is? Do you know why?
Dude, I learned everything I needed to learn on like watching literally HBO, Cinemax, and other people,
which is a whole another issue that comes from this in itself.
And it's crazy because I didn't have the dad. Like my dad, he supported financially, and trust me, he instilled a work ethic in me that I will always be grateful for. And because of that, I have never, ever not gone without a job. Never.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I didn't get to go outside and play catch.
Right.
Like, and sometimes it felt like more so when we did take fishing trips, it was more so for him than it was for us as a bonding thing or whatever. I didn't learn how to hunt and all that stuff. Yeah, I didn't get to do all the stuff that he did as a kid.
Right.
Although that was something I wanted, but the thing was, my dad was in the military, so I was terrified of my dad majority of the time.
My dad was in the Army too.
So, see?
Wait, by the way, we did not know each other's like in-depth stories before we had this, and that's why we wanted to do it.
So if you hear some of these similarities in these stories,
I'm not making this up.
It is not something we're making up, and I'm not. And a lot of people that I've talked to kind of know a little bit of my backstory already. So the ones that are listening that know my backstory, I'm not making this up. But literally, when my mom and my dad split, I was still, I think I was in the 6th or the 7th grade when my mom and dad split. And literally, my dad was working 2 and 3 different jobs. So my childhood kind of got wiped away. And because I had 3 younger sisters, and I had to make sure they were up in the morning, dressed, on the school bus, make sure I got myself where I needed to be.
Damn.
And then they get in the house. I got to make sure I'm getting off the school bus, go straight home, making sure they did their homework, I did my homework, the house was clean, they're fed, clothes out, bathed, and in bed. And don't get me wrong, my dad did some of those things, but majority of the time it was me.
Right.
So my childhood is gone.
Yeah. So then I'll say this. I'll tell my side, and I bet you yours is the same.
Go ahead.
So he's saying basically you don't get to live a kid's life because, I mean, you're working. Like you go to school, you work. And I played sports, so I had a job in high school when I was 16, 17, 18. So before that I was playing sports. But so I guess I held a job pretty young. But anyways, it was sports. So when I came home, it's like work on the house, do all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm a teenager. I don't want to do any of this. So absent fathers creates like a void of like, I don't know how to be a man. But then you have all this handy stuff. If y'all can't see me, I'm doing air quotes. Handy stuff, right? But in reality, like, you don't know how to handle like grown man things because you're never taught. And then if you're a mom and you get into it and you guys just butt heads because of all the anger of her and me and all this stuff, we probably both needed some counseling at this time, but it was never sought after. Then you create a void of like rejection because I go to my mom for comfort, but instead I get like backlash because she sees my dad and me, right? So it's really hard dynamic. So I'm like you. I learned all I needed to know about girls at 13 from you already know what it is. Like, I mean, literally, and I had a family member, like, early on introduce me to pornography, and I didn't.
That's how it was for me.
Yeah, I didn't even know what was going on, but, like, as a kid, if you have a void, of course that's easy. You're going to fill it. And, I mean, the technology wasn't the same as it is now, but it wasn't hard to get to. Like, it's still the same. Mm-hmm. So now you've not only created this huge vice in your life, like, literally, you're struggling with this, and you're not going to tell your parents. Like, you already don't feel close to them. I'm not going to my parents and telling them what I'm struggling with. That's crazy.
My mom didn't even know I was having sex until I moved out of her house.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I can't. We're not going to get into a parenting podcast, but I'm just going to say, if I know my kid is, like, trapped, I'm going to pull him aside and say, hey, I know that you're, like, struggling right now. Let's just talk about it. Like, I want there to be no, basically, repercussion for them being honest with me. Right. Like, that's what parents are for, I think. I don't really know.
I mean, no, like I said, there's no handbook on parenting, but some of the stuff that we needed was not given, and we know it now.
Right.
Dude, like, he taught me how to drive, but it was one of those. I think my dad did more yelling than he did.
Bro, I was just thinking, the first time I drove, my dad tore me a new one. And I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't even want to drive no more. I think I curved the wheel, and he got so mad. He was so mad at me. I was like, dang, like, I got this car. Like, that's the thing. I didn't grow up, like, we never didn't have food on the table. Like, I did not grow up rich by any means.
No, right.
But my parents provided. Like, I was fortunate enough for them to get me a car when I was 16. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was a car. Right. And I knew that, like, I was grateful for it. And so the first time I drove, my dad, like, on my birthday or maybe on Christmas, I don't remember. Me and my dad are driving, and I curved the wheel on my car, and it was like a crappy car, so it didn't matter. He's like, dang, I was like yelling at me, and I can remember being a kid. Hey, Raven. I can remember being a kid and him just like cussing me out when we were playing baseball and stuff like that. I'm just like,
at least you got cussed out playing baseball. I don't even play nothing.
And you just got cussed out.
I just got cussed out
in general. Yeah,
you need to take the garbage out.
That's because you were probably standing there like this.
And literally, dude, if you guys could see his face, that is literally how sometimes I would sit there and stand like, dude, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say.
And then we start crying, and sooner or later, after we start crying, this comes along. Got it.
Yeah.
And the rain starts coming down. All right, that one we tried a little hard on that one. I'm not gonna lie, but we got 2 more to go, and then we're done with those plugs. People are just gonna listen to this podcast just to hear.
Sure, we got 2. I think we got 3.
Yeah, we got 3. You're right. Laughing, gunshot. No,
we did the gunshot.
This guy did. Oh, we got.
We did 1, 2,
we got 2
3,
left.
4.
We got these 2
we
left.
The pictures. Yeah, we
got.
We didn't do the laughter, did we?
No, we got laughter.
I don't think we have anything we can laugh about.
No, probably not. This is all serious.
Yeah.
So,
only kids.
Sorry, y'all. I got distracted. His kids are so cute. I don't know if y'all seen them. He got some cute kids. So we both have similar stories. And for me, like, you know, I had this friendship, like a relationship, and she was kind of going through the same thing. We were good friends, and her spiritual gift was rejecting me to my face. Let's go. All right. She literally, this girl literally, I think I asked her to prom 3 times, and she was like, yeah, no joke. And like either the day before or when I show up, she flaked on me. She did not come. I was rejected so hard. So as you can imagine, I was an insecure, short, like nerdy looking little kid who, I mean, I was really, really short.
Dude,
Really short.
You don't have to tell me. I was 4'11" until I was 16.
Hey, me too. No, I was 4'9". When I got my license, I was 4'9". Oh, this is great, y'all. We got too much in common,
dude. Trust me.
So yeah, we were both short and insecure, and people didn't like us, right?
I mean, I had friends, and I think it was because of my personality, and I didn't try very hard.
Yeah.
But I was a fat kid. I was always a fat kid, and I got teased a lot for it.
So you made fun of yourself, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't make fun of myself. I had others that made fun of me.
I made fun of myself, and people jumped on it too because they thought it was cool. But I was really just insecure.
Yeah. And like I said, I've always been. The thing is, I still have some of that insecurity to this day.
Sure.
And it sucks. And I think it's because we couldn't go to the people that actually birthed us.
Right.
And brought us into this world to actually figure out how do we deal with this, because either they weren't there or they had pretty much emotionally checked out.
Right. Because they were hurt by their situation.
Yeah. It's crazy how a cycle like that can continue to go on. And that's why I think I try so hard with my three now, is because I don't want them to feel the same way that I did growing up as a kid. I didn't want them to feel, well, Dad's not here, or he doesn't pay me any attention, I'm getting laughed at school, and really?
What was that?
That is, I never turned the thing on the dryer off.
Oh my gosh, that scared the heck out of me. Yo, that was his dryer. His clothes are dry. We're about to fold his underwear on the couch, everybody.
There was no clothes in the dryer at all. Oh, God, I can't hurry get the cons.
So, yeah. I was kind of... So I got bullied a lot, too. But I brought it on myself because I thought it would make me cooler. Like, I thought it would make me funny if I made fun of myself first. Because I was already insecure. So people jumped on it, and they were like, oh, he's making fun of himself. I'm going to make fun of him, too. So that was my life for, like, years. Like, 12 to 18. And I'm going to tell you all a little inside information. Here you go. Here's a little inside info. So I was really tiny as a kid, obviously. And I have small parents. Or my mom's small, my dad's not. But I had to get human growth hormones, like the shots, straight up.
Dude, really?
Literally. Because I went to the doctor when I was in, like, 5th grade.
And they said, you're not growing, right?
And I was on, like, the 2% chart. And my mom was, 2 out of 100. If 100, sorry everybody. If 100 is normal, I was 2%. 2. Like, way short, like midget status. Legal midget. So I'm thinking, all I can think about is, I'm jacked up. Like, and literally, if my mom would have said, no, you're just the way God made you. Like, you're perfect in my eyes. You don't need to be any different. Like, you'll grow someday. That would have been better than her saying, yeah, you know what? You are jacked up. Doctor, let's get him some human growth hormones because he's messed up. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, that does not make me feel more secure. So, long story short, I had to get human growth hormones. So let me tell you what. The day that I turned 17, because I was a junior in high school, I literally woke up one day and was like, oh, shoot, I'm grown. Started working out, got ripped, walked into high school my senior year and was like, what's up, everybody? And they were like, who is this guy? And I just took on this complex where I was like, screw everybody. I'm doing me. Y'all made fun of me. Like, now I'm everybody else's size. I'm just going to wear people out. And I was like, girls are not rejecting me because I'll be the first one to tell them no before they get close to me, right? So that, all these things happening with my mom and the porn and everything was this, like, hardening of my ability to be honest with people, especially women.
Wow.
So I get my senior year in high school, I went to it, literally, bro, I was like, I'm going to go to this house party. Bob Jones High School was having a house party. So I'm going to go to this house party. I'm going to find me a girl. I'm going to take her to prom. She's going to be hot. I'm going to show everybody that I'm the best because I brought a hot girl to prom.
Wow.
So I literally walk in this house party. I'm like, no joke. It was crazy. People were hanging from chandeliers. Oh, I'm not joking. Like
Project X in real life.
all these rich white kids are jumping on their parents' like pool tables. So it was crazy. And me and my friends from Harvest are like, what is going on? This is like a movie. So we're looking around.